Now we've got a special session track from our guest this morning. That's coming up for you later. Right now, though, FrankMusik. Remember him? He's been away for a little while working on his new album. We've been playing you his new single for a little while now here on Brighton's Juice, which is out on July the 18th. Now, when he popped in for a chat, we asked him about private jets. But don't worry, the London boy has still got his feet on the ground. When he popped in, we had to ask him about how it was working out in LA.
Been there since 2009, end of 2009, and I just literally went out there to record the new album, just wanting to get myself in a completely different headspace so I could come back to England and give something to the public that was wildly different from the first record.
Was London becoming a bit sort of stifling creatively?
No, it's just, I mean, I've lived here for 25 years, you know, and, you know, people move all the time. I chose LA because it's such a massive city. London's 15 miles across, LA's 85 miles across. You know, it's just a great place to just get lost and reset myself again. Yeah. You know, I don't drive out there, so I'm limited to my studio and my house, so I really just got back to the essence of what I enjoy, which is making music.
Yeah. Talking about the music, you're working with Cherry Tree Records now.
Yes.
The guys that work with Lady Gaga, that must be pretty exciting. Who else are you sort of working with that's sort of helped on the way?
I mean, being with Cherry Tree Records has been amazing. I've got to, you know, meet and work with some wonderful people. You know, I've got the Far East Movement on my new single, Do It in the AM. If you don't know Far East Movement, they absolutely wonderful bunch of guys from Los Angeles. They did Fly Like a G6, Rocketeer.
I have to ask, because I'm so glad when I realised you were working with Far East Movement. I'm still not aware exactly what a G6 is.
A G6 is a private jet, but when they wrote the song, a G6 hadn't actually come out. And in the music video, they use Enrique Iglesias' private jet, which is a G5. I don't know how I know these things. Tony Hawk, the famous skateboarder, if he made his money in computer games and his skateboard career, and then I think he actually has a business of hiring out his small collection of G5 private jets.
Wow.
I'm a compendium of useless knowledge this morning. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I lived in this part called downtown Los Angeles. I don't really recommend it to anyone unless you're an artist, or it's not a very good place for like a residential area. I don't want to go like all property on it, but it's more for art students. Lots of warehouses. It's like East London or something was about 10 years ago. And the FM boys actually lived one block away from me. But I actually met them in London for the first time after the Pharrell Williams gig at the Forum in Kentish Town. I think it's called the Forum. I wanted to meet them. I was big fans of their music, and then we went out on the town in West London, and we just said after that we have to work together. And then I did Fighting for Air, which is a track on their album, and then I put them on Do It in the AM. They shot the music video with me, and we've just had a laugh ever since. On tour with Rihanna in Australia, been touring the whole of America with them, went to China with them a couple of weeks ago. Wow. It's been incredible.
And they are, of course, on the new single, which has quite a cheeky title, Do It in the AM. Are you going to explain that to our family audience on breakfast?
I wish there was any sort of entendre to it, but actually it was just, you know, I produced all the album in the AM. I had this bizarre sleeping schedule, which was start work at 6 p.m. and finish at 6 a.m. So that was pretty much how I did the whole record.
There you go. Nothing saucy about it whatsoever. We're going to continue our chat with Vincent from FrankMusik about his little play on the piano, Nicole Scherzinger of all people, and also working with 80s legends Erasure. That's after the new single. This is FrankMusik. Do It in the AM. 9-6.
Out on the 18th of July, that's the new one from FrankMusik. Do It in the AM. It's Guy and Andrew here, 9:20. now.
I love that track. I love it. It's really grown on me. We've got an acoustic version of the 2009 hit Better Off As Two coming up very shortly. We did catch up with Vincent from FrankMusik. He's been mixing with Hoi Polloi and Nicole Scherzinger, no less, and also Erasure, you'll know from the 80s. But before that, we asked him about the new album, as yet unreleased.
The first record was very much about me. It was called Complete Me. Funnily enough, the new record is about just collaboration, being in America, bringing it back to England. You know, I've been in England for 25 years. I mean, there's definitely still going to be a lot of my South London roots through it. And you know what? It's got me singing the whole way through it. Far East Movement singing on it and rapping. Got Natalia Kills singing a duet with me, and I've got a new upstart called Colette Carr, also signs Cherry Tree, doing a duet with me on the record. So it goes all over the place, you know, just fun.
Cool. Well, we're glad to hear that you're bringing it back to London. Also had to ask you about playing piano for Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I was asked by my my boss in America to learn a piano song at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I had to have it ready by 4 p.m. and then I had to get in a taxi and I had to go up into the Hollywood Hills, and I had to go and meet Miss Nicole Scherzinger, which was amazing. Kind of awkward at the beginning though, because she didn't know that I was turning up, so I was like a sort of a mad frenzied fan outside her house, kind of waving at her, and she was kind of awkwardly waving back, and I was like, no, I'm not waving because I'm actually here for a reason. It was all very embarrassing for me and probably for her. I got to play the piano for it. She made me a lovely cup of tea. PG Tips.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, she's
Lewis
a fan.
Hamilton's influence, clearly.
Most possibly.
We heard a little rumour as well, Vincent, that you've been working with Erasure. Is that right?
Yes, just finished producing the whole record. Which
Wow.
is amazing.
Were you a fan of Erasure or any of those sort of kind of bands from the 80s?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I mean, I grew up listening to, the likes of ABC, Annie Lennox, even Yellow Magic Orchestra, Electric Light Orchestra, all that stuff I grew up on. And just being able to be in the room with Vince Clarke, who was responsible for Depeche Mode, Erasure. I mean, Erasure, 25 million albums alone. It's just ridiculous, And of course, Alison Moyet, just an absolute, legendary combination with Yazoo. So, yeah, I grew up on all that stuff, and being asked by their boss at Mute Records, Dan Miller, to do the album was just an absolute joy.
We heard as well that you're doing your own radio show. Is that right? And we thought perhaps you may want some tips from the kings and queens of the airwaves in Brighton.
I could do with as much help as you're willing to give, really. The show's called Orbital Obscurities. There is a lot for the name. It is the most sort of bizarre journey in electronic music, from drum and bass to hip-hop to anything that involved hitting record on a computer, pretty much.
Right, okay. So it's very music-based, as you'd expect. So you don't do any travel updates?
No, but we can do this.
Because that's my niche.
Perfect. I don't have a voice, so, I mean, we should probably do some Skype.
I'll give you a quick line, and then you follow me and see how you go. We've got delays on Ditching Road this morning. Do approach with caution. Can I have a go at that?
We've got delays on Ditching Road this morning. Approach with caution.
He's good, isn't he?
To be honest, we offered him a gig, but I think he's a little bit too busy. That's FrankMusik, having a little chat with us recently. We've already played you his new single, Do It in the AM, which is out on July the 18th, but he also did a special live session track for you.
This is FrankMusik, and this is my 2009 song called Better Off as Two. I'm sorry, but did I never mention I'm better off with you? 'Cause now I think it's time that you understood we're better off as two. And ever since we met, we've never been too clear. All our insecurities tied up in all our fears, and how we try to make our problems disappear. Never searching hard enough to find only more tears. And that's what we're about, yeah. The reason we are joined, 'cause we were always trying to be strongest, and all we cast points, no. I'm sorry, but did I never mention I'm better off with you? 'Cause now I think it's time that you understood we're better off as two. I know it gets too much sometimes when we're both not in tune, singing to a different song, breaking us both in two. But then we start again, learn the mistakes that we made, and now we walk in harmony with notes that never stray. 'Cause we were always trying to be strongest at all weakest points. Now I'm sorry, but did I never mention I'm better off with you? 'Cause now I think it's time that you understood better off as two. Pretending ourselves has never worked too well. Boundaries always kept, but I'm always making more. But still, we have made it far in a space of time. Being on our own won't work, so why not just be mine? No, 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 no. I'm sorry, but did I never mention I'm better off with you? Yeah, I'm better off with you. 'Cause now I think it's time that you understood we're better off as two. One more time now. I'm sorry, but did I never mention I'm better off with you?
now I think it's time that you understood. We're better off as we are better off as two.
What a little treat that was. It was a pleasure being in the room when we recorded that. That's FrankMusik and Better Off as Two from